One of the biggest mistakes that I see new Amazon sellers make is quitting too early. I just read this great book called Atomic Habits, and in it the author mentions a concept called the plateau of disappointment, and it perfectly explained why most Amazon sellers end up quitting right before their results show up. When you're in the process of building something new, there's the stretch of time where you're putting in all this work, but you're not seeing any results. You're showing up, you're doing the reps, you're planting the seeds, but nothing is happening. That's the plateau of disappointment. And it's this part of the process where most Amazon sellers will give up because it feels like all the effort you are putting in isn't working. The truth is, all that work is building under the surface. You just can't see it yet. And that reminded me of what it's like being a new Amazon seller, because in the beginning, this business is pure grind, right? You're building leads lists, you're calling suppliers, you're getting rejected over and over again. If you find a supplier, they usually end up sucking. You're scanning lists that have thousands of products. You're hardly finding anything. It just feels like you're putting in so much work and you don't really have anything to show for it. Now, my OGs will tell you, if you don't quit, what happens? You keep grinding. You keep learning, you keep dialing. Eventually, you'll find a decent supplier or two. You'll probably make a few test buys. You'll probably find your first replenishable product. Eventually, that one product maybe becomes 3 or 4. And before you know it, you build up this nice little catalog of 10 or so SKUs that you can replenish. Everything is going good. And then what happens? Well, then Amazon probably will get on the listing and they're gonna kill your shit. Maybe you have 1 or 2 SKUs get gated, you have another 1 or 2 SKUs get price tagged. Now you go from 10 and you're back down to 3, 4, or 5 SKUs, right? But that's the business. In wholesale, if you're not growing, you're shrinking. You are constantly losing SKUs to issues, to Amazon, to other sellers. The only way forward in this business is to keep grinding and to keep adding new fuel to the fire. New suppliers, new SKUs, new brands, and you have to do all of that faster than you're losing them. That's the business model, unfortunately. And that early phase in this business where you're doing all of this work and you're not seeing the results fast enough, that's the plateau of disappointment. And most new Amazon sellers will never make it past this stage. They put in a few months of work, they don't see these huge results, they assume it's not working, and they quit. On to the next shiny business. But the truth is, all that effort is building under the surface, compounding, and they're just quitting before the magic happens. That is reselling 101, my friends. Now, if you ask any successful Amazon seller who has been doing this for a long time, what happens if you stick with it? What happens if you stay consistent? What happens if you keep opening accounts, keep contacting brands, keep scanning lists? What happens if you keep learning and refining your process? Well, eventually, it's like a snowball that starts rolling, right? You go from one decent supplier to 5 great suppliers. You go from making a few test buys to shipping in pallets. You go from 5K months to 50K months to eventually, God willing, 500K months. But you do not get there unless you make it through that plateau of disappointment first. And believe me, we have all been there. So if you are in that stage of your business right now, meaning if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling discouraged, let this be your reminder. You're not doing it wrong. You're just in the middle of that plateau. Don't quit before the magic happens. Guys, if this message is resonating with you, drop a comment. Let me know where you're at in your journey. As always, I appreciate you guys. Keep grinding it out, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.